Hey guys, DLC 3 for Black Ops 4 is out, and the map is called Alpha Omega. It's a pretty awesome map, and the main Easter egg has been solved. So me and my crew wanted to go in and see how low of a round we could do the main Easter egg on. We worked on it for a full day, and we were able to get it down to round 4 with the entire boss fight and cutscene completed. And a massive shout out to my crew, Captain Disastered Absolem and Chuse. He is Spurs for life on the left. So as most of you guys know, I've worked with this crew to do low rounds on some of the other maps, and some of the other maps take a lot of strategy and a lot of tricks to make it happen. And for this map, the Easter egg is not as difficult as some of the other ones, so we didn't have to like do major tricks or anything like that, but there are a few steps in this Easter egg that are extremely tricky, and you need a really good team with really good communication to be able to pull this off. So in this video, I'm going to take you through each of the steps that we did and how we set up, how we got all our money, how we got the map opened up, and then how we got through those really tricky steps. So the first thing we did was come to this area of the map. It's just right outside that spawn, and we hoarded up all the zombies so that we could keep them out of the way, and then we did some elixir tricks to multiply points and make a ton of money. So one player brought in raindrops, which was me, and that gives you every drop on the map, so that's going to be giving us money. And I went ahead and drank that elixir and put all of the power-ups out on the map. Then another player had dividend yield on, and what that does is when they pick up and earn points, it gives other player points as well. So everybody's benefiting from the money that I dropped and their dividend yield. So the player that is running the dividend yield is going to pick up the money that I dropped so that everybody gets a piece of it. And then after that, the other players are going to drop extra credits and give it to the dividend yield person so that, again, we can all have extra bonus points. After my elixirs cooled down, I was able to put out another extra credit. So 3 of us gave extra credits to the dividend yield, and you can see that the dividend yield person now has 16,000 points and the rest of us have a little over 6,000. So we used 5 elixirs between all 4 of us to rack up all these points. So the next step is to open up the entire map, which we have plenty of money to do and some left over, and the person with the most points is going to be purchasing the GALVAKNUCKLES because we're going to need that for one of the steps. During this time that we're opening up all the doors, we're also turning on the power, picking up all the parts for the shield and the parts for the teleporter. The third step is to get all the players in the generator area and do this lockdown, and there's going to be zombies spawning in, and we just went ahead and killed the electrified zombies that were running really fast and also the yellow Nova crawlers. But the slow regular round 1 zombies, we left those alone and didn't kill them. There's a few lockdowns in this Easter egg, and in previous maps and during those lockdowns, it would end the round, so we had to do special tricks to try to keep the round from changing. But in this map, when you finish a lockdown, it doesn't end the round, so it makes it so much easier. After that lockdown is completed, the next step is to go up into the houses and repair 4 of the ventilation units. During this repair phase, there will be some electric zombies that will spawn in, and we just killed them. We don't need to keep them. We still have round 1 slow zombies, so it's going to hold the round. After that's completed, we're still on round 1, and we do need to advance the round to advance this Easter egg, but before we do that, we're going to go and finish some more objectives around the map. One of them is picking up a key from the solitary area. Then we need to go collect 3 codes around the map. One of them is in the APD interrogation house. One of them is in the upstairs yellow house, and this is what the key is for. You just activate this drawer, it will open, and it will reveal another code. The third and final code is in the APD control room, and you have to shoot some files off of this control panel, and then it will reveal the final code. To move on to the next step in the Easter egg, we had to end the round and go to round 2, and what that does is it triggers this console right here called RUSHMORE. We then had to enter a 7626 code that I just showed you on a desk across the room, then the 3 other codes that we had collected around the map. The 7th step is to have the player with the most points go get the GALVAKNUCKLES. Then there's going to be 4 TVs around the map, and one of them is active, and they need to locate that TV and use the GALVAKNUCKLES and melee a zombie in front of the television. The television in this game that we found active was in the beds, and it's just going to be like a white screen, but once you melee a zombie, you'll get this screen right here. After that, a female's voice will be played, and she's going to be reading off some numbers, and those numbers are actually times that have to be entered into these clocks inside of the houses. She's going to read off 5 different times, so those have to be entered into 5 separate houses. Once that's complete, there will be one house with a clock that did not get a time entered into it, and you just have to go up to it and activate it. It will spin around and stop on a time. That time that it shows needs to be entered into the Rushmore console. It landed on 445, so you have to enter in 0445. After that's complete, Rushmore will tell you that there's a special Nova around the map somewhere, and you need to locate him and take him to the transfusion house. And you just find this red Nova somewhere on the map, and then escort him over to the brown house. Once in there, he will crawl over that barrier and up those stairs. Now the next step that Rushmore wants you to do is head down to the storage and activate this A.D.A.M. bot. And you want to take him over to a door that is in the diner area. You hold activate on the door and you hear MARLTON speaking, and then MARLTON will throw out a canister of 115. You pick it up, and then you take that canister to the transfusion facility, which is the brown house. There's a shelf right here where you can place it. The next step requires you to move really quickly around the map. So we're going to be using the teleporter for this. And we placed one of the teleporter pieces in the power, and then we're going to link up the teleporter with another pad behind this blue house. This teleporter is something that you can build on a buildable table in the greenhouse, and you have to pick up the parts around the map, which we did earlier. So the next step has forced us to go to round 4. We could have completed the Easter egg on round 2 if we could have figured out a way to get one of these jolting jacks to spawn in. We haven't figured that out. The earliest we can get one is round 4. So you have to stand in front of that panel, and the jolting jack will fire a ball of electricity at it, opening that panel, and then you need to pick up that core and quickly get back to Rushmore. If it's not done fast enough, then it will fail and you'll have to start over. So we used the method of teleporting behind the blue house, and then the player busted out their katanas and had super speed and could run to this back wall and place the core. Also, I'll mention that every time we complete an objective that Rushmore gives us, we have to go back to him and activate him again for the next step. So the next step is very tricky, and we're on round 4 right now. We don't want to advance the round because we can do the boss fight on this round if we can keep the zombies alive. So we took all the zombies to the generator area and held them right here to keep them safe. So during this step, there are 3 paintings around the map that require a brain-rotted zombie to knock the painting off to reveal a code. And if this brain-rotted zombie gets out of control, it can go kill a ton of zombies that we need to hold the round. So right here, we're doing the greenhouse first. We've got most of the zombies down underground being held, and we had one player peel off one zombie and take him to the upstairs floor in the greenhouse. This player needs to have the brain rot pack-a-punch on the gun, and we have plenty of money to do that. And then we gotta pray that it will actually turn the zombie, and we don't have to keep killing a bunch of them to try to get one to turn. Absolem got stuck in the corner right here with a nuke. The first zombie he shot dropped a nuke, so we had to kill another one, and luckily the second one we killed was able to turn and drop the painting. The 2 other paintings that we need to trigger are in the bunkers, so we had to move all the zombies up to the spawn area and hoard them up here to keep them safe. This step again is so tricky because you may not be able to get zombies to turn into the brain rot, and there's a cooldown time, but that still doesn't guarantee anything. So for one of the steps, we used Control-Z elixir. The Control-Z elixir guarantees that you'll be able to turn a zombie without having to kill a bunch of them, but the downside is that this brain-rotted zombie lasts a lot longer than the one you would shoot with a pack-a-punched gun. This elixir zombie will last for 30 seconds, and he's probably going to make it to some of the zombies around the map. So the strategy we used is we despawned the horde of zombies when he got near it so that he couldn't kill any of them. The horde I was holding, I despawned, but he was still able to kill a few, but not enough to end the round. The third and final painting was in the beds, and we just had to get really lucky here and hope that we didn't have to kill too many of these zombies to make one of them turn. And luckily, I was able to get one of them to turn the first time. And because we have a horde on the upper ground level, this guy's not going to make it to them at all. He only lasts about 10 seconds. And this is pretty much the step here that can make or break your low round strategy. We definitely had to do a few runs to try to figure out and coordinate the zombies enough so we could get past finished it. The next step is to enter all 3 codes that were revealed behind the 3 paintings into the Rushmore console. That's pretty easy. After that, we went down into the bunkers where there are these little power panels with these 6 lights on them and a switch. And you have to flip the switches on all of them and try to get all the lights green. We're still working on a quick method to finish this puzzle step, and once we've got it, I'll let you guys know. After that, you move on to the next step, which is doing 3 lockdowns around the map. And these lockdown areas do randomize, and sometimes you get stuck in some pretty tight areas. You're looking for these mannequins to emerge out of the ground and then find the one that is electrified around its chest. During this step, there's going to be a ton of zombies that spawn in, so you're definitely going to be multiplying zombies for this round, so you don't have to worry about not having enough and accidentally killing some. Our first lockdown was behind the yellow house, which wasn't so bad. There was some space. The second one was in the diner. This one was kind of tricky, so we used the undead man walking elixir. We made sure everybody had one of these loaded up so we could use it during this step specifically. The last and final lockdown was behind the teal house, and this is a really small area, and this was a nightmare. We had run out of the undead men walking halfway through this lockdown, so they started running, and 3 of us got down, but 1 of us clutched it and revived all of us and got the step completed. And yeah, this was almost GG right here. After those 3 lockdowns are completed, you pick up a piece from each of those 3 mannequins and then place them here in the blue house garage. Next step is to go back and talk to Rushmore, and he's going to tell you to go find an orb around the map and escort it to the blue house and to that mannequin. During this step, we had the zombies being held again underground in the generator area so that they didn't get in the way and we didn't accidentally kill any of them, and we've never noticed this orb to go through the generator area, so it seemed like a safe place. After this, you will interact with Rushmore for the very last time in the operations room, and after that, you go down to the APD control room. All players have to be at these monitors right here to activate the APD release sequence. After that, there's going to be these machines that spawn in that are the mannequin zombies, and you just need to kill those to fill up some of these tanks. And because we were on such a low round, these things were super easy to kill, and we just used pack-a-punch strifes. Filling these souls right here only takes about 30 seconds. It's super short. And then after that, this door is going to open and the Avogadro will emerge. The Avogadro will say a few lines, and then you need to run around the map and fill more of these tanks. And they're going to be randomized, but there will always be 4 different locations. And the first location we got was in storage. What's good about this step and filling souls is that it doesn't advance rounds. You can stay on the same round and complete all 4 areas. After the first area is complete, you need to get out immediately or you will be downed and electrocuted by the Avogadro. The next area we located a tank was in the lounge. You just go up and activate it and then start shooting the machines to fill the souls. The third location was the lounge, and then the last location was the beds area. After all 4 tanks are filled, you want to head quickly back to the APD control area. The Avogadro will spawn in, and then you just basically kick his ass back into that pyramid. We were doing this on round 4, and it was so incredibly easy to do. I don't know if he's just easy to get back into the pyramid, or because we were on a low round, he was a lot easier, but he was just taking a massive beating from us. After that, you just activate the elemental shard and pick it up, and then you get the cutscene. So this Easter egg run on round 4 took about an hour and 40 minutes, and because we didn't have to do any of the ray guns or anything like that, it cut out a lot of time and a lot of steps that we didn't need to do. But thank you again to my crew that I worked with on this. I had a lot of fun with them, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and we'll see you next video.